What's up guys, David here, and I am back again with another video. This time, the speed test you have all been waiting for between the Galaxy S7 Edge and the reigning speed test champ in the iPhone 6s Plus. Taking a quick look at the spec sheet, on one side you've got the Snapdragon variant of the S7 with a whopping 4GB of RAM. And on the other side you have the A9 packing iPhone 6s Plus coupled with just 2GB of RAM. But specs are just specs, that's why we do these speed tests here on the channel. And with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so we'll get things going like we always do by starting the stopwatches on each phone and then jumping into the system apps where the iPhone gets the step over the Galaxy S7 as both phones head into the gaming portion of this first lap. So at this point, it's worth noting that the iPhone's resolution is lower than the Galaxy S7's, which may give it a bit of an advantage as in theory there will be less stress on its GPU compared to the S7's GPU. But either way, the iPhone 6s Plus looks to have pulled ahead by a full app, with it starting to work on Smash Hit while the S7 Edge is still working on Clash of Clans. But of course, the S7 still has plenty of time to make a comeback as we're only just halfway through this first lap with a whole nother lap left to go. With the iPhone finishing up with Photoshop Mix, it's now heading into Lapse-It, where each phone will have to render a time-lapse of the same exact video file. So this just may be where the Galaxy S7 and its octa-core processor can make its comeback through sheer processing power. But damn, it's going to be hard as the iPhone 6s Plus just ripped through Lapse-It and is already almost done with Netflix and heading into Spotify. With it finishing up Lapse-It, the S7 Edge doesn't look to have made up any ground on the iPhone, with the iPhone finishing up the last leg of this first lap in loading up both the mobile and desktop versions of the Amazon website. So the iPhone's official time for the first lap is 1 minute and 17 seconds, and it looks to keep its lead during the second lap where each app is being reloaded to test whether or not it's kept ready to go in the background. And so far, it looks like the iPhone is having no problem with that. Speaking of which, it'll be interesting to see how the S7 does in this second lap as it finishes the first lap with a time of 1 minute and 33 seconds, since Samsung phones have typically struggled with RAM management, and from the looks of it, things haven't changed, at least not with this many apps having to be loaded in the background, with the S7's RAM management not being able to keep at least these games ready to go, which further pushes it behind the iPhone in this speed test. So with the iPhone finishing up the test with a total time of 1 minute and 54 seconds, we'll go ahead and fast forward the Galaxy S7 Edge to the finish line, where after having to reload 3 of the 4 games, along with 2 other apps, it clocked a total time of 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Okay, so what the hell happened? It actually looks like the S7 Edge did worse than the Note 5 in this same test, at least for that first lap. But the thing is, the S7 is supposed to be the latest and greatest from Samsung, so there are 2 possible explanations I can think of. The first is that the S7 and the Note 5 have different chipsets, but with the Snapdragon 820 doing relatively well in benchmarks, we'll give it a pass, at least for now. Which brings us to the second possible explanation, which is most likely that the S7 suffered due to it being encrypted on Android 6.0, whereas on the Note 5 it came unencrypted on Android 5.1. But with that said, both the Note 5 and the S7 have their RAM management issues, making the winner and still fumble style speed test champ the iPhone 6s Plus. That is it for me in this video. You can bet there'll be more speed tests just like this and possibly a rematch coming sometime in the future. So give this video a big thumbs up if you'd like to see that. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.
And action. Good.